Welcome out to the shop. My name is Mark. This is the Malarkey Taylor channel. Today we're going to fix a license plate that's dangling off of my brother's trailer and try to put it in a space that's not as prone to being damaged, because he told me if I don't fix it I can't borrow it. And you know what? The only thing better than having a trailer is borrowing one from somebody else. Come on, let's go. So let's get this done. Well, that about sums up what I've got to fix. Now this thing keeps getting smashed because it's when this dump trailer goes up, it kind of pivots here, and so this guy kind of comes down and it gets the dump closer to it, so this ends up getting hit by the pile that comes out of the dump, and it just kind of gets all banged up and smashed, and just really doesn't do well for what we're trying to accomplish here, which is not get pulled over. So my goal and my mission for today is to take this license plate off of here and move it up and mount it there on the fender. We may either turn it sideways or crooked or something to try to get it to fit, because it's a little bit wide for it. My goal is to not have it stick out past here, so it's not clipping with people's clothes and whatnot. I don't know the legality of turning it sideways. I've seen a lot of people do that, but I don't know if that's going to be an issue. We might try that first, and if we don't pass inspection next time, then sort it out. But since it's my brother's trailer, I want to try to not have him get pulled over with it. So we're going to see what we're going to do. Let me get this guy off of here and mock some things up. All right, what we settled on is we're going to put it in vertical for now. Now, all right, so we put it this way. If there's an issue with that, it doesn't technically meet the criteria for the law. I think it's supposed to be this way, but because of the fact that we're going to leave the other mount down here at the bottom, and we're going to leave those little, we're going to leave the screws in it. So in the event that either the inspection station or a police officer or something has a problem with it, we can just take it off of here, mount it back down here, and meet the letter of the law, and then we can come back and make a different mount. My thought was that maybe we could make a diagonal mount, but that's going to require welding onto here and then taking the powder coating off and a bunch of other things, whereas it will still get in the way of things, and this is the best way, I think, to just keep it tidy. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a light and put a light here. I have a couple options for lights. I have these guys. They're little screw lights like this. They're really low profile. And so I can just mount these guys like here, 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 something like that, and it'll give it a good glow. The other option that I have is something like this, where I can take these screws out and we can drill a hole in there and just kind of mount that there or there, wherever that may be. This is kind of bigger and bulkier, and it's easier to get smacked off, I think. These are kind of neater and newer. So I think if we take these guys and put them in there, I think that's probably going to be the way to go. If we just put 2 of these guys in here, and then we run the wire down in and connect it up to the other wire. Oh. Okay, so for this light, it comes down and goes in and goes under there into that chamber there. I want to do the same thing here. I want to bring it down here and punch a hole in here and bring these guys together and out through there so it doesn't hit anything, which I think means I need to raise it up a little bit so I can get in there and see what it's all about. So let me put this thing up. Don't dump stuff on my floor. It's okay. We'll clean it up later. We'll clean it up later. All right, so this guy goes, and it looks like it goes right into that chamber there. And it has some tabs here holding it on. We can probably do something similar to that. Now the question is, do I want to run these up here and tie them in up here? Or do I want to run these and try to tie it in inside here like those? Stand by, folks. Alright, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but it's the thing we're going to do. I'm going to take this bit and I'm going to put a hole in there. I'm going to hope that I don't hit that wire, and we'll see what happens. This is a shielded 2-wire. We're going to see if we can fish that down in this hole, run it down, pop it out down here, and make the connection underneath of there with the other lights, instead of trying to go all the way up here to this and making a connection there. We're going to try to go down there and make a connection down there with the other trailer light. Just it's easier to get to in case my connections aren't perfect or clean. And we'll just leave a little connection here for these guys and then tidy that all up. All right, I got them out. I'm gonna get them tidied up, tucked in, connected, and then we'll sort it out down there. Well, somewhere in this glorious mess, I have misplaced my wire crimpers. So I have the crimps, I have all the things that I need to do to put it together, but I can't find the tool that is supposed to do that. So I've spent the last half an hour looking. I can't find it. I've run out of time for today. So that means I'm gonna cut this with a generous amount of extra wire, put the thing down, tidy it up, pull it out, park it back in the side there, put the truck back in, put the tools away, come back to it another day. Possibly a week or so from now. It'll be a minute for you guys, but that is what it is. That's what happens sometimes. So we'll come back to it. That's it for right now. We'll see you guys again in a minute. Okay, I'm back. It has been a little over a week and trailer's not in here, job's not done. I had to go to work and I haven't been back. And on top of all that, I still have not found the tool that is missing. So while I was away and I was traveling, I went on the internet and I got new ones. I ordered one of these and I ordered one of these. These things are basically the same thing. This is a name brand one. A lot of people might recognize. It's a Klein tool, 5-piece ratcheting crimper kit. This one is a 6-piece China Amazon special. These guys, this is about I think it's $60 and this one's about like $30. They're supposed to do the same things. This one has a really cool font on there. It's like cursive or something. I don't know where the tool that I needed went. I couldn't find it. I spent a solid half an hour looking for it last time, and it never, I don't know where it went. My son has been in the habit of using my tools, and that tool in particular, he has been using that occasionally to crimp some things and whatnot for his 3D printers. So it's possible that it's in the house. My wife even said, well, I might have seen it, I don't know. So it's somewhere, and eventually it'll turn up and we'll have a third one. But I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, and I use this as an excuse to spend some money that I probably shouldn't have. But here we go. Now we've got the tools, we can get back to fixing that trailer. But before we do that, I legitimately gotta unbox them for the first time. So you guys get to watch that. It's new tool day here at the shop. It's always exciting. Why is the trash can full? All right, so we're gonna start with the cheap one. I think y'all might want to look down a little bit here. Maybe not. I don't know. You can still see me a little bit. This is the cheap one. It's called Plus Tool. Aha. And it has a single page instructions. That's fun. All right, and what these are is crimping tools that have different dies in them. So these little die things can go in and crimp the crimps, and they're for different styles depending on what you're trying to crimp. Yep. So you can change these out. I don't know which ones are in there right now, and I don't know which ones are which. I'll have to go look through. You can see the different profile of the thing that's left. So that one's got a different profile in there. I think the one that we're looking for, I think it's probably this one. That kind of checks out. I have to look that up a little bit because we are looking for one that is for insulated. Lock. Okay, let's do this. Is it open? Oh, it's open. Okay, there you go. There it has it. So we have the insulated ones right here, which are like a shrink wrap, weatherproof connector. Then you have the bare ones, and that shows you which one you want for the bare. Then you have this other style of insulated. These are weatherproof. These are just regular. So then non-insulated terminals, open barrel terminals, solar connectors. So each one has its own little style, and you can change them out. I'm going to keep that because that's actually kind of handy to have. So that's what the cheaper one looks like. Let's take a look at the more expensive one. I kind of figured I do this enough times that I need to use these often, and I'm always looking for those other tools, and I use this as an excuse to spend more money than I probably should have. But now I have a couple sets of quality tools. This one has its name right, injection molded on the box, which is cool. Oh yeah. This one has, oh, same type of a deal. Okay. Alright. Same type of a deal, different profiles. This one has little balls on there, and those guys will just crimp together. These don't seem to have, these kind of have a hole in them. And then it has like the different style. Oh, and then this guy here, again. That's pretty neat. And then, of course, on here it actually says, this doesn't come with any instructions, but it has injection molded into the case. It says 3005 CR die, insulated terminals. 6 is non-insulated terminals. 7 is heat shrink terminals, and 8 is ferrule terminals. So I'm guessing that each one of these dies has a number on it. Yeah, there we go. There's 8. So that's the ferrule ones. And 3005 is in it, which is insulated terminals. And then, so we want the 7 die, which I believe is this one. There's a tiny little number on there, almost can't even see it with my old man eyes here. But that's what we're after for the heat shrink terminals. So what we'll do, now you got to loosen up these screws here, take those dies out, put these dies in, and then, well, this feels like a really good tool. I like that. Nice. Okay. Let's get that trailer back in here, and oh, I also splurged and bought another wire stripper. I've seen these used on the internet before, and I've never used one. And I always thought they were cool because they didn't have to. You didn't have to decide what size wire you wanted to strip. You just put this guy in here, and it strips it. And then you don't even have to change anything. So let's just do this. Put it in there. Bah. And then it's the same die if you want to strip a bigger one. This is a bigger wire. Let's cut it off. So then I can just take this guy, stick it in here like that, and it grabs it and then strips it. And it has this really cool little guide here. You can set the depth and tighten this down, and then boom, you have a guide to set it against and strip your wire. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I use this as an excuse to splurge. Let's go fix that trailer. Trailer's back in here. I gotta get back in here and work on this back section. So I'm gonna put it up again and get to work. I just gotta put these guys with that guy and do the thing. Yeah, it's gonna be easy. Look at this, knocked right out. I'm gonna try the Klein ones first, and I need to put this die in it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I change the die in there. There's these 2 screws, Phillips head screws. You loosen up Now on these guys, you don't have to take them all the way out. Once they're loose, you gotta release it, and then they'll slide. They'll slot. They'll slot. They'll slot. Yeah. You have to release them a little bit more. And they slide out. So there we go. You see a little hook at the bottom. Slide out. And then we'll slide the new guys in. Doop. Doop. And then I think what I want to do is I want to close them so that I know that they're lined up. And then I'll tighten those down. Tighten those down. I'll tell you one thing I like about these that I didn't have on my last pair is you can start the crimping process and get it clicked in, and if you want to, you can release it. So you can release and get it back out again. But sometimes when you're trying to hold this in place and you have these and you got to try to get the wires in there and make sure everything's good, these you can kind of set them in the jaw and then click it in there, and it'll hold it in place while you fish the wire in, and then hold it, and then hold it, and then you can crimp it down. And if you don't want to hold it anymore, you just give it a little tiny little squeeze and push up on the release, and then it comes out and you're free. So I already like these way better than my last pair, which is good because they're purpose built for this. The other ones are a multi-purpose tool, but that's a big positive at this point. And it looks like it's asymmetrical, so I can go in that direction and that direction, which means that if I'm kind of in a weird spot, I can get these guys in there and then hold it and then crimp it. I'm digging it. So far, I'm really digging it. So let's crimp a couple wires and see how it goes. Okay, we're back here in the wheel well, and I have these two wires twisted together, and those wires will join together in one crimp, one side of the crimp, and then these wires will then obviously tie up to them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to crimp this side. Actually, I've got to trim them back a little bit so that they fit in that crimp. Put this on here like that. That's actually still way too long. Make sure that's on there, and then we can grab our crimpers. In good shape. Let's see what we got. All right. Well, I really like that. That gives it a good clean crimp. Those wires are both in there good and tight. Let's do the same thing over here. So right here we can make sure that's on there good and tight. Put it in here. Make sure it's in the right spot. I'm really digging these guys. So let's then pull it all the way in and crimp. Yeah, it's a nice rounded crimp so it doesn't puncture the weather sealing. I'm digging that. I'm digging it. All right, and that was the black wire, so we'll tie that to this black wire, and then I have this shrink wrap that will come over and cover it a little bit here, and then the rest of it will have to tape. I think, do I want to get a bigger one that can cover both of these guys? Yeah, I think I want one of those on there too. Slide those out of the way. We'll shrink those later. Now, we can take this guy, we can get it set in there. Then we can position our wire right in there like that, right where we want it. Oh yeah, haha, I can dig it. Do the same thing here. see if this guy, this is something that does go, oh yeah. Getting in between two wires like that. Okay. Oh yeah, baby. Okay. I like it. I like it. And then this heat shrink can go over top of both of those and cover up into here somewhere. And this one will come up and tidy in back. And then this will leave just this wire here and this wire here exposed. These are heat shrinks that cover up the bolts. And then these guys here, I'll just put a little bit of volume on that, and then we'll tuck it back in here and it will be just fine. So the next thing I gotta do is I'm gonna wait to shrink this stuff until I get the other side attached, so that if I have anything hooked up wrong, red to red really shouldn't be hooked up wrong. But let's get to the other side. Here we go. The next bit is gonna be down here where we're going to splice these wires. I'm going to take these old crimps out and I'm going to splice this extension wire into with these crimps and then put it all back together, because we are going to leave this light here. We're going to leave this whole bracket in place in case, again, in case this somehow doesn't pass muster. We're going to leave this bracket in place so we can always take this and move it down here, at least temporarily, to get through whatever inspection it might be, or to cover us for legal purposes, and then we can put it back here. I'm also going to take this and make a mount that goes this way. These screws here are just temporary, but for now we need to splice that in there. Turn my lights on. Yeah, it did. Alright. Light. We got lights. We got lights. Okay. Yeah. Now we just got to shrink those wires, tidy things up, kick it out of my garage. Yeah. So here we go. We've got to melt those wire thingies with the thingy bajabi. So I'm just, it's noisy and all that, and I'll show you when it's done. Okay, we'll show you when it's done. All right, so I've got that shrink wrapped. I got a wire tie and a little hole down there, and I put that into there, and I put a little grommet to keep this wire from getting rubbed raw there. And I think we're in pretty good shape. It's not too much worse than what they have there, so I think it'll do the job. Next thing I am going to do is I'm going to take these bolts out, this self tappers out. I'm going to drill them to a size that we can put bolts and nuts in, and then I'm also going to do a set here so that we can turn the license plate if we need to, and then I'll be done. So. Oh, I've got to shrink wrap this side down here yet. But we're getting on. The project almost wouldn't be complete here if we didn't have a couple of zip ties holding things together. So, yeah, put a couple of zip ties to hold things together here. There we go. And there's our shrink wrap and mounting up there. And now all we got to do is get this thing in, get this down. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. Drill holes. Drill some. Well, it is a couple of hours later, and we're not done. I was almost done. I was so close, but I got pulled away and we had to run some errands, and now it's late in the afternoon and it's time to finally get this done. So what I've done is drilled holes in both directions so that I can take these bolts and run them through like that, put a nut on the end, and then if we needed to do it this way, which is like this and like that, we could. So we could mount it that way if we had to. But you can see that that sticks out the end. But if we needed to, if we got too much trouble, if we got pulled over, or if the inspection station didn't like it, we can switch it. But by and large, most of the time, for the safety of the machine, I think it's going to live in there just like that. And I think we'll never have any issues with it. But we're prepared just in case. So let's get that slapped on there. Oh, it's not going anywhere. Back up. There we go. Well, that's going to be it for today. Let me know what you think of these tools. I think I like them. I think that the name brand is better than the cheap brand. Shocker. And I'm back in business. I'll put a link to those tools on Amazon in the comments. If you feel like picking one up, use the link. It throws some pennies at the channel or whatever. So well, that's it for now. Thanks for stopping out to the shop on another episode of ShopsLog. We'll see you guys again soon. Have a good day.